One of the most important things that you'll need to learn when beginning to crochet is how to hold your yarn and your hook. This is important because one, you want your hand to be comfortable while you're crocheting because sometimes you can be doing it for a few hours or a project can stretch over multiple days. And then you want to know how to hold your yarn effectively so that you can maintain a good tension on your work so that everything looks consistent. So what I've done here is I have created a slip knot in my yarn, which I'll teach you how to do in a different video. So I'm going to tighten that, not too much, just keep it, kind of gently tight around there. So the way that I hold my hook, first of all, is I keep my thumb on the flat part of this rubber handle. Sometimes there's a metal handle and that will have a flat part as well, normally where the size is indicated. So you can just put your thumb right there. And then your index finger will usually go on the metal part here. And the reason why I hold mine like this is so that I'm able to move it back and forth as needed, because you are going to need to grab the yarn in order to pull it through either the chain or the stitch. So that's how I hold my hook. But you want to figure out what way is comfortable for you. So I hold my hook with my right hand and I hold my yarn with my left. I'm actually left-handed, but this is just the way that's most comfortable for me. But you may want to hold the hook with your left hand and hold the yarn with your right hand. Just make sure that whatever direction your yarn is coming from the hand that's holding the yarn, because that's going to make it really difficult. If you have it coming from the opposite direction, it's going to be difficult to see where you need to pull from. So I have mine on my left side because I'm holding it with my left hand. So just do that with the corresponding hand that you're holding your yarn with. So I have a slip knot on my hook now. And the reason why it's important to hold a good tension is so that everything looks consistent. So the way that you hold tension with your yarn is, one, you're going to want to have your fingers holding this tail, especially for the chain row. Sometimes you might want to grab onto it for stability in further rows that are close to this little tail. But for the chain row especially, you're going to want to hold it like that. And then you'll see I habitually just keep wrapping the yarn around my index finger because that's what's most comfortable for me. I use that as my anchor so that I have a consistent tension. I've also seen some people wrapping it around a different finger, or I've seen them wrapping it around two fingers like this. So around your index finger and then behind your pinky finger, just to keep an extra bit of tension on that yarn. But you'll see having your index finger outstretched and having the yarn wrapped around there gives you a good anchor to be able to hold consistent tension while you're chaining. So you're going to wrap your yarn around like that and pull, and you're going to see that your chains are all going to end up the same size as long as you're holding proper tension. So you're just going to want to make sure that, one, you're not holding your yarn too tight because it does need to be able to flow through your hand even with the anchor, but two, you're not holding it too loose because then your chains can end up wobbly and then you're going to have a wobbly first row as well. So make sure that you're holding a gentle tension, your chains aren't too tight, your stitches aren't too tight, because then you're going to have trouble moving up to the next row when you're working into your stitches if they're too tight. So just make sure that you're comfortable, that you're holding a gentle tension, and that you have all of the positioning that you need in order to be able to move your hands, because it's not really stationary. You have to be able to move your hands around. So you don't want to be too tense. You want to make sure that you have a gentle tension on both the hook and the yarn.